Let's bring in the staff writer at The Atlantic, David Frum. His latest article is entitled, "It Wasn't a Hoax. People with scant illusions about Trump are volunteering to help him execute one of his big lies." David, in your article, you write in part, the Steele dossier undertook to answer the question, what the hell is going on with Trump and Russia? It was to silence that question that the outgoing Trump administration appointed a special counsel of its own to investigate its investigators. John Durham has now issued 3 indictments, all for lying to the FBI about various aspects of the Steele dossier. None of these indictments vindicates Trump's claims in any way. It remains fact that Russian hackers and spies helped his campaign. It remains fact that the Trump campaign welcomed the help. It remains fact that Trump and those around him lied and lied and lied again about their connections to Russia. Anti-Trump journalists want to use the Steele controversy to score points off politicians and media institutions that they dislike. But if you choose, as a journalist or a consumer of journalism, to focus on smaller issues, you need to retain your perspective about what is bigger and what is smaller. So by all means, follow the trail on Steele. Be alert to how the twists of the trail block your view of the surrounding landscape. Otherwise, you may discover too late that you have also been misdirected and misled, and that in setting out to explore a small truth, you have become a participant in the selling of a greater lie. And that, Joe, also seems like how democracy dies.
Well, David, it's so fascinating that everybody that is a Trump apologist or the anti-Trumpers are using the Steele dossier to conflate everything involving Russia. Say it was all a hoax. And unfortunately, this is even coming from people who I read regularly and respect, like Andrew Sullivan, who is now suggesting it's all a hoax. And stupid people run around saying the words Russian hoax, as if it completely obliterates everything Donald Trump and his campaign did during the 2016 campaign, which, by the way, the Republican Intel Committee took apart bit by bit and considered it a threat to America.
Part of the sickness of what the country has been through in the Trump years was his ability to change our mind about what was wrong. So there are people, and as you say, many of them are people who have done stalwart work in exposing many of Donald Trump's other attacks on democracy, but where it's now been sort of normalized. Well, of course, the Russians spied on the Hillary Clinton campaign and Democratic activists in the years up to 2016, dumped all of that stuff expressly to help Donald Trump. We know all of that. That has all been established, as you say, by the Senate Intelligence Committee. Those are all facts. But, you know, that's not a big deal. Unless there's like an exchange of letters between Trump and Putin, unless you can show that they had a handshake deal. Well, there was a handshake deal over Trump Towers in Moscow. But unless you've got the signature in blood, you don't have anything. And we have everything. We have everything we need to show one of the largest scandals in American history. And there is now a project of retrospective denial that is coming from people who want to score points off Hillary Clinton and media institutions for their own reasons.
David. And they want to attack media institutions. It's their way to say, see, they're wrong about this, too. They're wrong about everything. David, I want to let you go on, but just for people at home that have been reading this anti-Trump disinformation, I just want to read from Marco Rubio's Senate Intel Committee report. Just a couple of things here. I'm going to start with something I have, and then we'll put up a full screen. Taken as a whole, Manafort's high-level access and willingness to share information with individuals closely affiliated with the Russian intelligence services represented a grave counterintelligence threat. That's the Republican Senate Intel Committee, chaired by Marco Rubio, saying Manafort's position on the Trump campaign and the back and forth with individuals closely affiliated with Russian intelligence services represented a, quote, grave intelligence threat to the United States of America. Here's some more. light reading. The committee found that Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered Russian effort to hack computer networks and accounts affiliated with the Democratic Party and leak information damaging to Hillary Clinton and her campaign for president, so said the Republican Senate Intel Committee. Moscow's intent was to harm the Clinton campaign, tarnish an expected Clinton presidential administration, and help Trump's campaign after Trump became the presumptive Republican nominee, and undermine the U.S. democratic process, so said Marco Rubio's Senate Intel Committee run by Republicans. On the man who kicked off the federal investigation into the 2016 Trump campaign, by the way, not Steele, but the man who actually kicked it off. The committee found that Papadopoulos likely learned about the Russian Active Measures campaign as early as April 2016 from a Maltese academic with long-standing Russian ties, well before any public awareness of the Russian effort. The committee also found, the Republican committee also found, Papadopoulos communicated the information that he learned to at least 2 separate foreign governments. The committee could not determine if Papadopoulos informed anyone of the Trump campaign of the information, though the committee finds it implausible that Papadopoulos did not do so. Another, on June 16th, 2016, that meeting with Russians offering dirt on Hillary Clinton. This is what the Intel Committee, the Republican Intel Committee, with Marco Rubio as the chairman, wrote. The committee assesses that at least 2 participants in the June 9th, 2016 meeting have significant connections to the Russian government, including the Russian intelligence services. And on Russia and the Trump campaign's participations with WikiLeaks, Trump and senior campaign officials sought to obtain advance information about WikiLeaks' planned releases through Roger Stone at their direction. Stone took action to gain inside knowledge for the campaign and shared the purported knowledge directly with Trump and senior campaign officials on multiple occasions, so said the Republican Senate Intel Committee. The Trump campaign publicly undermined the attribution of the hack and leak campaign to Russia and was indifferent as to whether it was WikiLeaks and they were furthering a Russian election interference effort. So say it. The Republican Senate Intel Committee report on Russian threats to American democracy. So, David, in the words of Aristotle, anybody suggesting that this Russia thing was a hoax, they're just spreading horse shit. That's all they're doing.
I want to rewind the tape of what you said to where you put the emphasis. When you said grave counterintelligence threat, you put the emphasis on grave. But the emphasis also needs to be on the word counterintelligence. Because one of the things that did go wrong, and I wrote this article in 2017, I've said it probably 100 times, maybe 200 times on television over 2017, 2018, 2019, is Americans were led to expect, this is a very legalistic country, Americans were led to expect that there would be criminal charges, that there would be a criminal case. And I spent 3 years warning that that's not going to be so. You're not going to be able to formulate the elements of crimes here. It's a counterintelligence threat. It's a security threat. It's a loyalty threat. It is not illegal for an American businessman to do business with shady Russian characters. It's not illegal for him maybe to owe them money. It's not illegal for him to hope for a giant payday if he does what they want. None of those things are crimes. And it's not a crime to talk to other people about it. It doesn't become a conspiracy because you bring other people into it. And that what we needed all along to be looking for was the question, why did Russia do this extraordinary thing in 2016? Russia has an economy the size of Italy. Everybody assumed that Hillary Clinton would probably win. What a terrible risk they ran in 2016 to help someone who was probably going to lose. Why would they do that? Why did they care so much? That was the mystery. And the answer was not going to be found by prosecuting crimes. The answer is going to be found through counterintelligence.